Good morning. I'm Lena Bovian live here in Westwood. Coming up next, the FBI detailing a terrorist attack planned for Los Angeles for New Year's Eve. How they took the 4 suspects into custody. That's next.
I'm Eric Spielman in Brentwood. The bodies of filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle were found here at their home yesterday. Now this morning, their son is under arrest for murder. That story coming up.
Good morning. I'm Frank Buckley. In the wake of those murders, President Trump mocks the late Rob Reiner in a post on social media. We'll show you what the President of the United States posted this morning.
Good morning. I'm Jessica Holmes. A Good Samaritan comes to the rescue of a woman involved in a fiery crash overnight. We'll have details on what happened just ahead.
Hey there, everybody. Good morning. I'm Melvin Roberts from Queer Eye fame. Bobby Burke is in the house to tell us all about the new show that he's got cooking up. We'll see you in a bit.
Skies gradually clearing, but you can still see a lot of fog off in the distance. That's our Mount Wilson shot. And the advisory, though, has expired. It expired right now at 10 o'clock this morning. Nevertheless, temperatures on the cooler side, coastal 67, downtown 80, 86 degrees in the San Fernando Valley, 69 in the high desert, Inland Empire 82 degrees, Orange County Inland 74 degrees. Complete details coming up. Frank, back to you.
And we begin with this breaking news, a terror attack that law enforcement officials say was planned for New Year's Eve here in Southern California. Agents and officers disrupted that could happen. Officials say it was a local extremist group whose members were planning to bomb multiple targets. KTLA's Alina Abovian in Westwood with the details. Alina, good morning.
Frank, good morning. Well, this press conference just wrapped a few minutes ago, and it is so disheartening to believe the fact that they were just weeks away from carrying out this attack for New Year's Eve. Now, take a look. These are the suspects. The FBI, a multi-agency task force, they were able to identify these suspects as a far-left, pro-Palestine, anti-government, anti-capitalist group plotting a very destructive attack here in Southern California for New Year's Eve. Now, according to an unsealed FBI affidavit, these are the 4 suspects: Audrey Eileen Carroll, Zachary Aaron Page, Dante Gaffield, and Tina Lay. They are accused of conspiring to carry out coordinated attacks using improvised explosive devices at 5 locations across Los Angeles. Now, authorities would not specify which locations. They say the 4 self-identify as members of the Turtle Island Liberation Front, described as an anti-government ideology. Investigators, one of the suspects, Audrey Carroll, provided a handwritten 8-page plan titled Operation Midnight Sun, outlining how the group would place backpacks containing explosive devices at locations across Los Angeles on New Year's Eve. Now, the affidavit says the plan included detailed bomb-making instructions, surveillance tactics, and steps to avoid detection, including burner phones, encrypted messaging, altered clothing locations, and pre-planned alibis. Federal agents say the group traveled to remote areas of Lucerne Valley and the Mojave Desert earlier this month to begin assembling the explosive devices. The FBI technicians determined and seized the materials ahead of time. Now, thankfully, this joint force agency, including the FBI, the LA County Sheriff's Department, and the LAPD, they were able to intervene, and all 4 suspects, they now face conspiracy and possession of unregistered destructive devices.
These bombs were to blow up at the same time on midnight this New Year's Eve. The plan stated that the IEDs would be complex pipe bombs. It included instructions on how to manufacture the bombs and contained guidance on how to avoid leaving evidence behind that could be traced back to them.
Now, according to the FBI, they say that all 4 suspects will be making their first court appearance today. Live in Westwood, I'm Lena Bovian, KTLA 5 News.
Alina, thank you. Developing news now from Sydney's Bondi Beach. At least 15 people are dead, 40 others injured after shooters targeted Jewish Australians on Hanukkah. Australian media has identified the suspects as a 50-year-old father and his 24-year-old son. The father was killed at the scene. The son is in custody and hospitalized. Police say the attack could have been worse if not for the heroic actions of a bystander who rushed in to wrestle the gun away from the attacker. Australia already has some of the strictest gun laws in the world after a 1996 massacre, but the Prime Minister says he will be adding more restrictions. We'll have the latest updates coming up at 10:30.
One of the sons of actor and director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle has been arrested in connection with their murder.
The couple was found dead in their Brentwood home yesterday. KTLA's Eric Spillman live in Brentwood now with the latest. Eric.
Morning, Jessica. Good morning, Frank. It was quite a shock yesterday to learn that filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle were found dead at their home here in Brentwood. And really even more of a shock this morning to learn that their son, Nick Reiner, has been arrested for murder. LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell made the announcement about an hour ago.
We have our robbery homicide division handling the investigation. They worked throughout the night on this case and were able to take into custody Nick Reiner, a suspect in this case. He was subsequently booked for murder and is being held on $4 million bail. Pretty much that's what I can share at this point, but again, a very, very tragic incident.
Records show 32-year-old Nicholas Reiner was taken into custody at 11:15 last night and booked into the LAPD jail division at 5:04 this morning. He's been booked on suspicion of double homicide. Nick Reiner has struggled with drug addiction over the years. He entered rehab at the young age of 15, went out of rehab, went back in several times. He also lived on the streets for a time. In 2015, Rob and Nick Reiner worked together on a movie loosely based on Nick's experiences with addiction and with homelessness. It was called Being Charlie. At that time, Rob Reiner said working on a movie with his son strengthened their relationship. Nick is one of the Reiner's 3 adult children. Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle were found dead at their home here on Chadbourne in Brentwood around 3:40 yesterday afternoon. Reiner was 78 years old. His wife was 68. The couple was married for 35 years. A spokesman for the family released a statement saying, "We're heartbroken by the sudden loss, and we ask for privacy during this unbelievably difficult time." It's not clear who first reported the death of the couple. There are reports that the Reiner's daughter, Romy, found them and called 911. The LA Times reports there was no sign of forced entry into the home. Also, earlier in the evening, an LAPD officer told KTLA that the couple had suffered lacerations consistent with knife wounds. Rob Reiner had a prolific and hugely successful career in Hollywood. He started as a writer and an actor in the 1970s and had a memorable role in the sitcom All in the Family, then became a director and filmmaker with influential movies like When Harry Met Sally, The Princess Bride, and This Is Spinal Tap. He co-founded Castle Rock Entertainment. He also became a passionate political activist for liberal causes. We spoke to some of his neighbors here this morning.
I heard the helicopters, and I also heard the helicopters over OJ, which wasn't far from here, and was curious and looked at the TV and found the story about Reiner. I guess both Reiners.
What do you think about this happening just down the street from where you live?
It's awful. It is.
Back here live outside the front gate of the Reiner's property here in Brentwood. Some of his fans have come by here this morning to leave candles and flowers. Also, a man who said he had worked for the Reiners for years as an assistant came by here to pay his respects. We wanted to speak to him, but he said he was just too distraught to talk to reporters. We'll send it back to you.
Understandable. All right, Eric. Thank you. President Trump is responding to Rob Reiner's death with what appears to be a political attack against the late director. Posting on Truth Social, Trump suggests Reiner's death was due to, quote, the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome. Reiner was a vocal critic of the president. Kentucky Republican Thomas Massey calling his comments, quote, inappropriate and disrespectful. Many online calling the president's post disgusting. And stay with KTLA for continuing coverage on the death of Rob Reiner and his wife. We'll have the latest details in the investigation, plus continuing tributes for Rob Reiner's life and legacy on air and on KTLA.com. Coming up later this hour, Scott Mantz will be joining us here in studio to talk about Reiner's impact on the entertainment industry.
A Toyota Camry slammed into a big rig and caught fire overnight. It happened around 2:30 this morning in LA's Beverly Grove neighborhood. The Toyota hit the back of the truck on Drexel Avenue near Crescent Heights. A Good Samaritan, along with the driver of the truck, broke the window and rescued the woman in that burning car. She was taken to the hospital in unknown condition. It's unclear what caused the driver to hit the truck. The truck driver was injured.
All right, time now to check in with Mark. He is looking at our weather. We've had this warm December.
Yeah, warm December. We're going to be closing it off a little bit cooler. Summer, that is. Summer, fall, we're going to be closing it off a little cooler as winter starts to step in. But nowhere near compared to what they're dealing with in the Midwest and the upper Northeast. Snowstorm, and then after that, cold, cold air. Does feel like winter out there. Temperature 59, 1 degree cooler than it was yesterday at this time, and the winds are calm in downtown Los Angeles. On the almanac, yesterday, our high, 73 degrees. Average for this time of the year is 67 degrees. And as far as the record goes, 1886, and that shoots up to 85 degrees. Offshore flow battling what is an onshore flow, and the winds are coming in from the northwest. That's why things are going to cool down just a touch all the way through the weekend. And then the beginning of next week, we can expect to see numbers warming up once again. Here we'll start to see a little bit thicker cloud also overnight and in the early morning hours. It was quite foggy this morning coming in. Boy, couldn't see too far in front of me. 68 in Santa Ana today will be your high. Chino 80, Riverside at 80, 65 in Santa Monica, Van Nuys at 80, and Santa Clarita up to 79 degrees. Ventura County Inland, 79. That goes up to 80, holds in around that 80, 78 degree mark, and then it drops off 69 and 68 degrees. Santa Clarita Valley, 81, 84, and here you're in the low 80s until the weekend where you go down to 75 and 74 degrees. Los Angeles, 80, 81, 82 degrees. Saturday and Sunday, 71 degrees, so drop off about 10 degrees right there. And 82, that goes all the way down to 83, down to 77 and 76 degrees in the Inland Empire. Frank and Jessica, back to you.
Mark, thank you. Coming up, the manhunt continues for the suspect connected to a deadly mass shooting at an